I have always felt honored to be a part of this unbelievable story about Descendants of Zombies characters. Stories that have been told so many times over the years, but stories that you couldn't help but fall in love with every single time that you heard this story differently. And many of us have tried to tell this story differently, but I think what comes with that is a passion and an understanding for your audience about who and what they love. And once you understand who and what they love, you can create very powerful videos that some way or somehow will always have a way of touching that person's heart because they're looking for something special to believe in and to obviously hold on to. There have been so many wonderful people recently subscribed here to this YouTube channel, and I would like to say thank you to everybody who have been with me for a very long time, but also the relatively new people who have found this YouTube channel. Just because you're new here doesn't mean that you're not special. And I've always wanted you guys to take away something special from every video that I've ever created, because I know that some of you are finding it very hard to find acceptance in this world, and I've always wanted you guys to know that no matter what you're going through, everything is going to be okay. And we will see a point where Descendants 5 and Zombies 5 are going to happen, and no matter what you're going through, I think you're wonderful people to know. I've never had to know you to whether or not know if you're a good person or not, because I know that everybody is unique in their own way, and everybody feels differently about Descendants of Zombies. But it's just so cool knowing that this YouTube channel has touched so many hearts in so many unbelievable ways. I've always loved having these conversations with so many wonderful people, and I've always put hours into every video that I've ever recorded. I may have never known what I was going to say in every video that I push record for to begin, but these videos always had a way of touching people's hearts and always resonating with them. For stories I shared with you about Dove Cameron eventually, and stories about Sofia Carson that would go on to touch all of your hearts. I always saw something special in somebody like Sofia Carson, whose birthday is today. Sofia Carson is 33 years old today, and it's such an honor to be here to celebrate that with you, because I remember Sofia Carson's character Evie having no backstory whatsoever. And oftentimes having no backstory whatsoever is very difficult. It presents a very unique challenge to have to bring that character to life, because how you have to bring that character to life, how do you guys think you bring a character to life with no backstory? You have to apply character traits, which a lot of people really can't do, because pretty much they're handed a script and they're given character traits and they're told how to bring that character to life. Like Belinda from Wicked, Ariana Grande was pretty much handed a script and she was told how to bring that character to life. She never really had to apply her own character traits to help bring that character to life. Unbelievably, she was talented, but she was never having to have to bring that character to life by herself. People like Sofia Carson always had the challenge of having to bring characters to life, and that's what I had a great deal of appreciation and profound respect for her having to do, was bring this character to life. And undeniably, that character would go on to touch all of our hearts. And the one thing that was so outstanding and remarkable about Sofia Carson was this emotional connection she had with two very important aspects of her life. The first being Cameron Boyce, and the second being all of you, because she was very emotionally connected with all of you, and you guys saw something special in Sofia Carson because of that, and I wanted to honor that. I remember last year when I talked about Sofia Carson's 32nd birthday, and I was so honored to be a part of that with all of you, because Sofia Carson had come a long way in such a short amount of time, and I remember being so honored to be a part of it and to have the chance to experience things like the premiere of Chillin' Like a Snowman, which was the Christmas version of the song Chillin' Like a Villain, which was a song that I actually opened up my day and started up my day with today, because I wanted to kind of get in the mood of the original Descendants trilogy to kind of talk about it with you guys, because I know a lot of us have moved on from the original Descendants trilogy. Some of us have chosen never to let go, never wanting to say goodbye, and that's cool too, but many of us have moved on, myself included, because as the times change, we as fans have to change with the times. That's something I've told you guys over and over again, because this is the last of a generation. So because this is the last of a generation, we have to celebrate this generation, and we have to give them a chance. We have to give people like Kylie and Ruby more of a chance than ever before, and especially Malia Baker, because this is coming from a guy who used to watch the original Are You Afraid of the Dark TV series back on October 31st, 1990. For those of you who don't know, the original Are You Afraid of the Dark made its premiere. It had episodes of that series like the Phantom Cab and The Nightly Neighbors and Jake the Leprechaun. There were so many, Room 214, and Locker 22. I remember all those shows, and it was such a huge honor and so much fun being a part of that, watching that show go on to become what it would become. And then Malia Baker has the chance to be a member of the Midnight Society for Are You Afraid of the Dark's reboot Curse of the Shadows. It was a 5-part series released, I believe, back in 2022, and I remember how excited Nickelodeon was to kind of revamp that series, and I remember how excited I was being an original fan of the original series, and then hearing about how Nickelodeon was going to reboot it with Malia Baker, and of course we knew her from the Babysitters Club and Descendants. You know, these stars have had so many incredible opportunities, and I just wish that we could see more opportunities for them. There's a rumor going around online now that Freya Sky is going to have the chance to be a part of a live-action Tinkerbell remake, and that's going to be so cool. I've read some comments. People are so excited about Freya Sky being the live-action Tinkerbell, and I support you, and I support her being the live-action Tinkerbell because Tinkerbell was always one of her favorite Disney princesses. Do you guys know that Tinkerbell was one of Disney's original princesses from the original Disney Princess lineup? Now, that was forever ago. She was later on taken out of the lineup, but she was one of Disney's original Disney princesses from the original lineup. So, along with Rapunzel, Tinkerbell's always been one of Freya Sky's favorites. So I think we can find time in appreciating that. And I think that, you know, people like Sofia Carson could have obviously been given the chance or the distinction to have been a live-action Snow White. I know that Rachel Zegler received her fair share of criticism for her opinions and everything. She was very vocal about some things she was having to deal with right around the time that Snow White was released just last year, in the spring of last year. I attended the Snow White premiere, and I remember being blown away by her performance despite what people were saying. People didn't really want to give her much of a chance. But when it comes to people like live-action Jasmines and Rapunzel and Tinkerbell, I think that people like Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky can always be in these conversations. So too can Sofia Carson, because Disney and obviously Descendants has held a very special place in her heart. So too has Cameron Boyce, who we all miss. I think there isn't a single person out there that doesn't miss Cameron Boyce. Now, guys on Disney Channel, I felt very differently about. I will be honest with you guys, because of their arrogance. I really didn't have much time for them because I thought that they were really taking away from what Disney was actually trying to promote and really putting themselves out there for being. But Cameron Boyce was somebody who I took exception to and I had time for, because I saw a chance with Cameron that a lot of you saw. I obviously saw something special with Cameron and how much he believed and how much he trusted in all of you and how much you trusted in him to bring characters like Carlos, the son of Cruella de Vil, to life. You know, guys, one of my first movies that I ever watched was the original 101 Dalmatians, and I never ever wanted to watch it. My mom was adamant about me watching 101 Dalmatians. She always wanted me to buy the VHS. And I kept refusing, and I kept refusing, and I kept refusing, because years ago I thought that VHS cassette tapes were too big to fit into your VCR. I was like, Mom, this is never going to fit in my TV. And she was like, Jonathan, you don't have to fit it in your TV. You just have to put it in this thing called the VCR, and I'm going to buy it for you. And I never watched it until I think my 8th birthday party at McDonald's, when I sat in the caboose and I opened it up and I was so excited to watch it, and I realized why Mom had wanted me to watch 101 Dalmatians. It was about how a family of dogs, over 101 of them, would sacrifice everything just to stay together. No matter what they were going through, they always wanted to stay together and be a part of each other's lives because they were so important to each other. Pongo and Purdy loved each other to death, and they loved their family, and they did everything to try to protect them under the most bizarre of circumstances. And then, of course, you had Cruella de Vil, who was driving the Red Rooster, and she was really crazy, and she wanted the dogs for herself. And then from out of nowhere, here comes Carlos. And he was another guy who really never had no backstory, because we didn't get a backstory for Cruella until the live-action Cruella was released, I think somewhere around 2018. And I remember watching it and how Emma Stone brought this character to life in such a profound way and finally telling us the story of who Cruella was. Point being, there are so many Descendants characters who never really had a backstory to fall off of, and how they brought these characters to life for you and because of you should be honored and always remembered. And I think that through us becoming the best of friends and me telling you everything, because I've often perceived this channel as a journal, that's what's allowed me to be a part of something so special. And that's why oftentimes I've thanked you guys for allowing me the chance to be a part of this something special, to be on this incredible journey, discovering the power of characters like Maleficent and Cruella de Vil and Jafar, who of course had the son Jay, who was played by Boo Boo Stewart, who we don't really hear a whole lot from. He's one of these guys that's gone MIA with Descendants. and I have no idea where he's to. But this is why I say this about the new cast. I say this about the new cast because this new cast is putting so much heart into everything they believe in, which is pretty much all of you, and how much they believed in franchises like Descendants and Zombies and High School Musical because they always wanted to be a part of it. Kylie Control was using a karaoke machine ever since she could talk, ever since she was 4 years old. Freya Sky was doing the same thing a year later at the age of 5 years old. And because that girl wanted to sit in her room and play music on her karaoke machine, which I never did until I was like 25, and the only song I could ever sing was Johnny Cash's Folsom Prison Blues or Sunday Morning Coming Down. I was somewhat of a legend for being able to do that because Johnny Cash's songs were the only songs that I could sing the karaoke version of. But I remember having so much respect for Kylie Contrell and Freya Sky and many other people like Sofia, Carson, who always wanted to practice karaoke and become better and become stronger people because they left inspirations behind. There were so many inspirations to so many wonderful people, and they gave people a chance to believe in themselves more than ever before through telling the character stories. Stories that they obviously felt very passionate about themselves, stories that they wanted to bring to life, and Descendants of Zombies gave them that opportunity through direction through Kenny Ortega, Jennifer Fang, and now Kimmy Gatewood. Come to think of it, guys, I would have loved the chance to have been a creative writer or a director behind Descendants because there's so much magic and so many magical moments to experience that we've already experienced, I know, but so many magical moments that we have yet to experience, and I think you guys have deserved a dedicated voice and a dedicated director for a very long time, and I would be more than honored to have that chance to really go to Disney, sit in that director's chair, and spend hours, months developing a new Descendants script for you guys because that script will go deeper than ever before. I say this because you guys have been so incredibly loyal to this YouTube channel. You have believed in this YouTube channel with all of your heart. So because you have believed in this YouTube channel with all of your heart, you've always deserved something nice to be said about your favorite characters. Now that may have come from a guy who thought that he lived in a haunted house for forever with all the creepy noises that you guys hear from a soda plantation and a chemical plant 5 minutes out the road. But that was done conveniently enough, and I took advantage of that because what better way to bring a Descendants and Zombies podcast to life than by living near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could simultaneously explode, spontaneously combust. I felt that was a really good way of bringing these videos to life in a very effective way, far more effective than any other content creator ever has done. I saw something special in Sofia Carson for forever. I saw strength. I saw an incredible amount of dedication and heart for you guys. And how she sang that song, Chillin' Like a Villain, which made it to the top of the Billboard chart, the 100 Billboard chart in 2017, was an incredible opportunity. I will never forget because Descendants 2 was the first time ever that we got to know more and learn more about Sofia Carson's character Evie, who originally had no backstory. And I don't think they originally planned to introduce us to Sofia Carson's character Evie the way that they did. It wasn't until Descendants 2 we got to know more about her and got to understand her character a little bit better for being misunderstood. And I remember that song, Chillin' Like a Villain, and how powerful it was and how people wanted to get the choreographing down. They wanted to master that one just like they did Life is Sweeter When You Are from Ruby Rose Turner. There's something about these characters that often kind of stray away from Descendants that we miss for forever, that we wish could have stayed a part of our lives for forever because we believed in forever because of them. That's the reason why we never wanted to say goodbye, because we believed in forever because of them. And because we believed in forever because of them, we never wanted to let go. We never wanted to say goodbye. I don't think anybody could have ever performed that song, Chillin' Like a Villain, as powerfully as what Sofia Carson ever did. The original voices behind songs like Chillin' Like a Villain and Life is Sweeter When You Are will never, ever be forgotten and always hold a very special place in our hearts for their strength and their dedication, because oftentimes the authenticity of these characters are things that I've often admired and I've taken great pride in showcasing for you guys on this channel, because all of us together exemplify a lot of authenticity because we're different. Some of you love music, some of you love to draw, some of you love to collect your Descendants of Zombies dolls, some of you love to collect, I don't know, Barbie dolls. The cool thing is, guys, whatever you're passionate about, Pokemon cards even are something that girls love to collect. Years ago when I was going to high school, girls used to love to collect Pokemon cards. Whatever you're passionate about, continue to follow it. You know, I've seen so many incredible artists subscribe here to this YouTube channel. People who love to dance, people who love to record music, people who love to sing, people who have headsets on their head every night before they fall asleep. Whoever you are, or whatever you're passionate about, all I've ever wanted from you is to continue to follow your passion. And just because somebody's not interested in what your passions may be, continue to follow them and never give up on yourself. Because when you never give up on yourself, something special is bound to happen for you. And the sole reason why I created this YouTube channel was to encourage authenticity and to promote diversity. Because when you can encourage authenticity, which makes you different, and when you can promote diversity, that makes your message more powerful than ever before. And you have more of a chance of touching more hearts than you ever imagined possible, which is something this YouTube channel has successfully done, but I could have never done it without your guys' help. So continue to feel stronger about yourselves, continue to feel more passionate about your music and your drawing, your collecting of Descendants of Zombies merch, which could come in the form of hoodies, could come in the form of dolls. I would love to have my own doll or my own action figure or even my own teddy bear. I've often told you that story about how I always wanted to be everybody's favorite action hero and go down in history for leaving an everlasting impression on the legacies of this franchise. Now, I may have never known when I was telling you guys that how I was ever going to do it. But it would have been so cool to have been everybody's favorite hero, the knight in shining armor for Descendants of Zombies, the strongest character ever, like a Cameron Boyce, because we all took so many inspirational stories and moments away from him. And I always just wanted to be like your favorite Disney Channel guys who, always had a special place in your hearts, like Malachi Barton and Cameron Boyce, which I know I'm probably forever a long way away from ever accomplishing, but that would have been so cool to have been everybody's favorite Descendants character or Disney hero, a Disney Channel kid, a Disney Channel guy. I would have loved the opportunity to perform my own Disney Channel signature with the wand thing. I really would have loved to have been able to say, hey, Jonathan, hey, my name is Jonathan Clarke, and you're watching Disney Channel. I always wanted these opportunities just to be somebody special to somebody's heart. And the one thing that this YouTube channel always gave me was the opportunity to do that through honoring your favorites, such as Sofia, Carson, and obviously Dove Cameron, Cameron Boyce, and Kylie Cantrell, and Malia Baker, and Ruby, who God knows I love with all of my heart. I will never live long enough to be able to tell Ruby how much appreciation I have for her and what she offered to the Descendants franchise, even though her time was very short-lived. Descendants made her a stronger person and more confident in her abilities, and the one thing I always wanted Ruby to know is that she will always have a special place in my heart, as too will all of you, because you guys saw something special in every video that I ever created. No matter what time of day you watch these videos, when you come home from school, before you go to school, early in the morning, because I know I used to get up at 7:30 every morning and watch Inspector Gadget, because when I was going to high school, there was no such thing as YouTube, so you couldn't upload videos until 2005. So the only thing you could do is either watch Ghostbusters reruns or watch reruns of Inspector Gadget. And that was cool enough. So you guys can at least one-up me and watch YouTube every morning or on your way home from school on the school bus and hopefully draw inspiration from this. There's probably somebody running out the school bus now to get home to watch Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. And that's an incredible feeling. That's an incredible honor, guys. Thank you so much for always holding a very special place in your hearts with this YouTube channel. And thank you so much for believing and trusting in me as your dedicated voice of Descendants of Zombies and always having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel as we say happy 33rd birthday to Sofia Carson today and as we celebrate it together, because moments like these only ever happen so often in a person's lifetime. For every once in a lifetime, moments like these happen and they should be cherished and never ever forgotten and always celebrated. And there's no better way to go down in history than by celebrating these moments together. Thank you guys so much for believing in Descendants of Zombies as much as what you have, choosing this YouTube channel every single time as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, and for always having watched these videos.